Today I thought I'd lead you in a Lectio Divina session. It's actually a Jesuit imaginative contemplation session where we're going to have a bit of a guided meditation. So we're going to start with a reading. So this is a reading from the Gospel according to Mark. On the evening of that same day, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go across to the other side of the lake." So they left the crowd. The disciples got into the boat in which Jesus was already sitting, and they took him with them. Other boats were there too. Suddenly a strong wind blew up, and the waves began to spill over into the boat, so that it was about to fill with water. Jesus was in the back of the boat, sleeping with his head on a pillow. The disciples woke him up and said, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die?" Jesus stood up and commanded the wind, "Be quiet." And he said to the waves, "Be still." The wind died down, and there was a great calm. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Why are you frightened? Do you still have no faith?" But they were terribly afraid and began to say to one another, "Who is this man? Even the wind and the waves obey him." The Gospel of the Lord. I invite you now to close your eyes and to concentrate on your breathing. Imagine yourself on the side of a lake, the water lapping gently against the pebbly shore. The sun is sinking slowly behind the mountains which surround the huge lake in front of you, as the day draws towards its evening. Boats of different size line the shore of the lake, fishing boats and passenger boats swaying gently as the water laps around them. You notice, off to your right, a group of men are walking towards the lake, talking as they stroll. As the group walk past, you see that one of the men is Jesus, and before you know it, you have fallen into step with the group and are walking with them, listening to Jesus as you go. More and more people join the group to listen to Jesus, and by the time Jesus stopped by a fishing boat, a large group of people have gathered to hear him talk. You stand for a while and listen to Jesus. What is he saying? Eventually, Jesus turns to his disciples and says, "Let's go across to the other side of the lake." The disciples start to climb onto a boat, but before Jesus climbs aboard, he spots you in the crowd, and his eyes meet yours. Jesus smiles, and he beckons for you to join him on the boat. How do you feel as you clamber aboard with Jesus and the disciples? The disciples push the boat out from the shore and lower the sail. You can hear the fabric of the sail flapping in the breeze, and the sound of the water spraying up as the front of the boat slices through the waves. You spot Jesus sitting towards the back of the boat and walk over to sit with him. Jesus asks you how you are, about the things that are going on in your life, the good things and the bad. Sit and talk with Jesus for a while. By the time you finish talking, the sun has sunk lower in the sky, and the water of the lake is now a dark blue and seems more choppy than when you set out earlier. Jesus looks tired, so you leave him to sleep and go over to stand at the front of the boat. You feel the wind begin to pick up, and the boat starts to rock from side to side. The disciples start to look worried. As the sun starts to fall below the horizon, the wind gets stronger and stronger, howling around the boat and threatening to tear the sail from the mast, while the water of the lake turns black, stormy and angry, and pours over the sides of the boat. The disciples are panicking. Some are clinging to the side of the boat, hoping just to ride out the storm, while others are fighting with the boat, trying desperately to gain control. What are the storms in your life? What things scare you and make you feel like you're not in control? Offer those things to God. The disciple nearest to you can't take it any longer. He runs over and shakes Jesus awake. He shouts over the storm in a panicked voice, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die?" Jesus stands up, his face calm and full of peace. You watch as he walks to the front of the boat and, as if speaking to the wind and the sea itself, commands, "Be quiet, be still." Immediately, the wind stops and the water of the lake becomes as still as a pond. Jesus turns to you, and you know that Jesus can do the same to the storms and fears in your life. Offer them now to Jesus. Let him ease your anxieties. Let him take away your worries. And let him walk with you when times are hard. As the sun finally sets, the scene in front of you fades away, and you feel yourself drifting back to the place where you started. And when you're ready, open your eyes. In Pope Francis' address to the world from an empty Vatican Square in March, he used the reading that we looked at today, where Jesus calms the storm. And he said, "Let us invite Jesus into the boat of our lives. Let us hand over our fears to him so that he can conquer them. Like the disciples, we will experience that with him on board there will be no shipwreck. Because this is God's strength. Turning to the good everything that happens to us, even the bad things. He brings serenity into our storms because with God, life never dies." Let's end our time together by praying for the serenity and peace that God brings, and for him to bring stability to the boats of our lives. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.